All right, welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to another video Today we're going to get into a variety of topics, but this first topic, we are going to talk about how Tesla keeps dropping prices and how do they actually continue to keep doing it. We found a piece that tries to dive into a little bit about all the different tips and tricks, or really the continuous innovation that Tesla does to keep these prices low. We're going to talk about a variety of different topics, but before we get into any of that, let's roll that intro real quick. All right, so thanks for watching another stream. Thanks for watching another video. My name is Dennis, and I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on Tesla at the best financing rate. So definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested, and check out my Patreon link down below in the description if you want to get the best Tesla buying guide out there, or even send me a DM where I can answer any of your questions. And shout out to my latest Patreon members. We've got Iman, Princess Peach down below. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for joining the Patreon group. And let us get into it. So of course, as you know, Tesla dropped prices pretty recently, like almost a week ago at this point. Last Thursday, they dropped prices across the board. And if you don't know, we can quickly summarize on what happened. Model Y basically down $2,000 across the board, and an introduction of a brand new Tesla Model Y standard range all-wheel drive at a lowest price point, or the lowest price point of $49,990. So basically under $50,000 after it's all for the base price. And then going to the Model 3 had a price cut of $1,000 across the board. But the Model 3 long range has not been back. And then of course, if we know about the Model S and the Model X, both of those had $5,000 price cuts across all the different model line trims. And what we do know right now is the $7,500 federal tax credit is still eligible for Model 3 and Model Y across all trims if you take delivery by April 18th. So you must actually take delivery like in hand and by the April 18th. This could change. The tax credit could change completely for the Tesla vehicles, but we don't exactly know until April 18th. It seems like Model Y is going to continue to keep staying with the 7,500, but we know that the Model 3 standard range will lose half of the credit, down to 3,750. So taking a look at this article that we found an article that essentially goes over Tesla's price revolution, and it talks about how the continuous innovation continues to pay off, not necessarily because of there's lack of demand or lack of customers that are looking to purchase, but it's really more so in their eyes that Tesla's price cuts is because of their continuous improvement and demand that is starting to pay off. So of course, we know Tesla price drops happened very recently. This article essentially goes into how the price reductions are made possible by Tesla's focus on continuous updates and production technology updates and improvements. We know this with factories that are already out right now, and Tesla's just continuous improvement of trying to make their vehicles more efficient and better. We know about Tesla's GigaPress that potentially has been released now and starting to be used on the Model Y, which could have a decrease in production and efficiencies across the board. And then we also know about Tesla's 4680 cells. Like, are those a more efficient, cost-cutting type of material and technology that Tesla is starting to put onto their vehicles at the end of the day? But the negative side of things, right? The thing that we've been all talking about for a while, especially if you've taken delivery of a Tesla recently, you know that there is not any more USS sensors on the vehicle. So like when you're backing up into the vehicle, if you don't know, your vehicle will usually starts to beep if your car has that parking sensor technology. Well, newer Teslas, especially 2023 Teslas, do not have these sensors on the back of the bumper, and so it uses the cameras to try and figure the distances with all the different vehicles. And so Tesla removed that, most likely because of cost cutting, and that has some effects on the market, right? That has effects on the vehicles. People are now not essentially complaining about the usage of it, but it definitely has some effects. But the main thing probably to Tesla is that it has cost cutting effects at the end of the day. So Tesla can reduce some of the costs and then maybe pass it to the customer, or at least pivot it in a way that seems like it is being passed to the consumer at the end of the day. And of course, not necessarily with Tesla's option, but Tesla has the $7,500 federal tax credit, which then goes in hands with the vehicles so that they could customers like you and me can get a better deal at the end of the day. But let me know what your thoughts on it. Do you think this article is definitely written in a kind of a balanced way, I guess, from both sides of the side with cost cutting, removing of the materials, and also maybe with enhancement or efficiencies of production on the line to build more Model 3, Model Y, S's, and X's. But we're going to jump into a variety of topics. But before we do that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description, there's a Patreon link where you can support the channel, and there's a variety of different benefits, but including scheduling a call with me where you can ask me any questions about buying a Tesla, selling a Tesla, or even financing a Tesla. And after you schedule or join the Patreon, you get a link to my buying guide, which has links to all the resources I use to get the best possible deal at the best possible price, including credit unions and banks on that list that all have interest rates lower than Tesla financing. So definitely check it out if you're interested down below in the description. Thanks for joining in. I know it's a little bit of a late stream, but we will get through it. And of course, we'll get to all the different questions that you guys have in the live stream chat. But because it's a little late, we're probably going to go through a couple of these topics back to back. But in this next topic, it looks like a study has been done on Tesla's logo and brand. And it seems like Tesla's logo might be more memorable than other competitors out there, notably Toyota, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and maybe potentially more. But I want to get your thoughts on it. Do you think the Tesla logo is more striking than other ones, or is it really because it's the newest brand that has come to the market and that is making an impact on us with the electric vehicles? Because there's also another vehicle brand out there that some of you might have seen, or you have seen those vehicles out of, but it's notably Polestar. And whenever people see that car, or at least when people have seen it on the road when I've been around it, people always wonder at the end of what type of vehicle that actually is. So we'll definitely talk about it, and we'll go through the different aspects of this article. But if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, so definitely hit that subscribe if you are interested. So let us take a look at this. So Tesla logo already more memorable than Toyota, Mercedes-Benz, and Lexus, says a study. So shout out to Tesla Roddy for posting this article out there. But here it is. So it looks like the first thing that stuck out to me was this study was done by American Trucks, conducted a memory test on Americans to find out that the car logos were the most which car logos were the most and least memorable. As it turns out, the Tesla T logo was more memorable than Toyota, Mercedes, Benz, and Lexus. So definitely some pretty interesting stuff. I mean, this kind of makes sense because, the Tesla's logo is probably the newest one that is out there, known to the block, new to the block. So essentially, more people are probably could be more recognized by most, but it also has probably a word of mouth effect because it's brand new. More people might be potentially talking about it. But the other logo that also is out there that is also new is Kia or KN. Kia has a newer logo out there that it looks like to be the least memorable last year because of the redesign that actually happened. If you don't know what that logo is, it actually was searched the most in the internet history last year or during a certain time period because people just did not know what the heck this logo was, because it looks like KN to most, but it is actually Kia at the end of the day. So pretty interesting stuff here. But jumping back to this article, there's probably a variety of things, but Tesla's T logo was ranked as the third best car logo behind Audi and BMW. That's definitely a pretty interesting thing. Toyota and Honda ranked behind Tesla's in logo recognition. Definitely interesting. And Tesla's logo is minimalist and represents both the T in Tesla and the cross section of the electric motor, which is used in the company's electric cars. Tesla's strong brand recognition is one of the main reasons why the company did not put any logos on the Cybertruck. Okay, that is an interesting one. And Tesla's increasing brand recognition bodes well for the company, as well as other car makers spend billions to ensure their brands enter the arena. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts on it. Do you think that Tesla's logo is very brand heavy and brand has a lot of weight? I definitely think it's okay. I mean, it definitely stands out to me, but let me know what your thoughts are on at the end of the day. But we're going to jump into our next topic. But before we do that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description is the Patreon links if you want to support the channel. So definitely check it out if you're interested. If you're just joining in, welcome. We talked about the Tesla price cuts and how Tesla may be, besides the lack of, or may a lack of demand, that why Tesla is dropping the price. Tesla could be dropping the price because they just have continuous improvement and cost efficiencies to make their vehicles even more cheaper. That could be a main reason. So they're just passing those savings to you and me and all of us that are interested in buying a Tesla. But in this next topic, we're just going to do a little bit of a thought piece, because I've been thinking about this for a little bit. And the question I want to ask out there or answer is, should Tesla have some sort of instituted trade up program? Like, they've teased different offers, which we'll go through in the past on what they've actually done, especially with the Model S and the X. But should Tesla have an actual trade up program that's official, where people can essentially trade up on their Model Y to an X or Model 3 to an S, or really anything on that? And so I'll make the case for it on why I actually think Tesla should probably institute that, because there's probably a lot of Tesla owners out there in different vehicles that might be wanting to trade up to this newest thing, but they don't know exactly on how to do it. But if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best behind Tesla at the best possible price, or just getting really good financing. So if you're interested in any of that, please hit that subscribe. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link down below in the description if you want to support the channel, but more on that later. All right, so let us take a look at this. I found this article out there. It looks like, how does Tesla's trade-in program work and which vehicles are actually accepted? But this really just talks about Tesla's typical trade-in program, where you can put in any vehicle that you currently have, get some sort of value, and Tesla will buy the vehicle from you. And lately I've heard Tesla's trade-in program, where they buy all different types of vehicles, have started to step up a little bit in terms of value. So definitely some pretty interesting stuff. I definitely always used to think that Tesla's trade-in program was the lowest value that you could get for buying trading in to get a Tesla, but it seems like Tesla is getting more aggressive, which is a good thing to hear about. But Tesla actually has an ownership loyalty benefit department, if you believe it or not. And so the most recent promotion offer that they actually run was on a Model S and Model X, where you could get unlimited free supercharging and upwards of $5,000 toward their trade-in value, and you had to buy another Model S or X. And it really was only for a specific amount of owners out there that have the unlimited supercharging that could trade in, and that's more so because Tesla probably wanted to get those owners out of those vehicles, because unlimited supercharging was probably starting to cost them a lot of money at the end of the day. But here's the case for it, right? So if you don't know, like, the Model 3 has been out for, I want to say, almost 5 years now. Like, the first one came out in like 2017 or something like that, around that time period. And so there's probably people in Tesla Model 3s that are getting near to the 4 to 5 year mark at this point, right? And so they might be interested in trying to trade out of their vehicle and into a newer vehicle, right? Especially with the new Highland, the new Model 3 refresh that is right on the cusp. They might be interested in getting into that one. And so I really feel like Tesla could offer some sort of promotion where they can give you either more value or a different promotion on the new vehicle, because there's probably going to be a lot of people out there with older Model 3s that want to get into a brand new one. And the thing with Tesla, like, right, when they take in a vehicle, they can essentially kind of do whatever they want to build value in that same vehicle. And what I mean by do whatever they want want. If you don't know, there's actually Teslas in the Tesla used fleet that you can purchase with a little bit of a warranty on it, right? You can get that extra 1-year warranty, but every once in a while you see random buckets of Tesla where Tesla will drop a bunch of them in there at basically a good price. But the only reason why it's a good price is because they can add any types of features that they really want to, right? They can, because most of this is software updates. They can do enhanced autopilot, acceleration boost, front and rear heated seats, full self-driving, which is on paper is $15,000, but really the value is really what the buyer wants to pay for. So they can essentially take in a Tesla that doesn't have any of these features and build value on top of it and then sell it to the next person. So the Tesla used department or used fleet could build value. They can take in vehicles at whatever price they want, right? Or give some sort of better pricing that beats out all the different competitors out there, where the customer can going to get a higher rate from Tesla, and then build value on the back end to sell that vehicle to consumers. I imagine Tesla's probably doing something like this already with their internal process, but this is probably a big opportunity where Tesla can institute some sort of trade-in bonus or trade-in program for Model 3 and Model Y owners if they need sales in the next year or two or anything like that. But definitely an interesting thought. Let me know what your thoughts are. Do you agree? Would you love for Tesla to have some sort of formal trade up or trade up program or anything like that? Or do you think you'd rather just sell it yourself or anything? But I mean, at the same time, Tesla does have a leasing program, but it's not the same, right? You don't get the most benefit from it if there's equity or positive equity in the vehicle, and you can go from that. But we're going to jump into our last topic. But before we do that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description is a Patreon link where you can support the channel. And there's a variety of benefits, but some of them include actually scheduling a call with me where you can ask me any questions about buying a Tesla, selling a Tesla, or even financing a Tesla. And after you join the Patreon, you get a link to my buying guide, which has links to all the resources I use to get the best possible deal at the best financing rate. And as an added bonus, I respond to all DMs or direct messages in the Patreon app. So if you want to ask me a quick question about anything, I will respond to you. So definitely check it out. Patreon link down below in the description. Thanks for coming in, everyone. We'll definitely get to the live stream chat where you can ask any question you want, and actually I will respond to it. But if you're just joining in, thank you for coming in. We talked about how Tesla was able to drop prices because of a specific article that was actually posted out. And the TLDR is, from what this article is saying, is that Tesla was able to drop prices recently because of continuous innovation of their vehicles, continuous cost cutting, maybe removing USS ultrasonic parking sensors, and or just continuous improvement of their manufacturing line and putting that cost savings down to you and me as consumers. So let me know what your thoughts on it are. But we got one last topic, and of course, then we'll jump into the live stream chat where we answer any questions that you have. So in this next topic, we're going to talk about what's most important when you're buying an electric vehicle. Of course, I put a survey out there and I asked everybody out there what they thought was the most important. So we'll talk about it, and we'll talk about my feedback on actually what I look for when I'm buying a electric vehicle, or really when I'm buying a Tesla, and how that probably has changed now that I've owned 4 of them now, or if I'm my 4th one. So, but if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on a Tesla at the best possible price, or just getting really good financing. So if you're interested in any of that, please hit that subscribe. And so let us get into this. So like me, like you probably are searching for a Tesla, or you're about to buy one, or you just bought one. Congrats to everybody that has just bought one. So I put this poll out there because I wanted to see what is the temperature out there. And I asked the question, what is the most important feature of an electric vehicle? Well, of course, when buying or owning one. And I was actually surprised. 60% said range was the most important, an overwhelming 60% out of almost 2,000 votes out there. And then far second place said technology. So like that's of course like autopilot systems or the UI system, entertainment systems. And then the third space or spot was cost. So it seems like most people prioritize range, but I'm not sure if everybody would pay the high like $100,000 if it had the most range. So there's probably a blend between range and cost at the end of the day. And then what really surprised me with this was a poll that I did actually before this, and that's kind of what sparked like what was most important, range, technology, or cost. But this poll I asked there about 2 days ago because if you didn't know, there is a Model Y all-wheel drive standard range right now. It is a low price or the lower price of between all the different Model Ys at $49,990, and that's really close to what a Model 3 long range was or is currently. It's either $48,000 or $49,000. We don't know because we don't seem to see that many that pop up in inventory. We'll probably see one at some point, but it seems like they're a little hidden and they don't necessarily pop up at all anymore. But so I wanted to figure out, because the Model Y standard range with a 279 mile range is priced at $49,990, but the Model 3 long range with a 330 mile range is priced anywhere from $49,000 to $50,000. So basically almost the same as the Model Y standard range. And so I put a poll out there and I was actually surprised by the results. 47% said they would rather get a Model 3 long range, and most likely because it has the 330 mile range. But this is what I can tell you. So like I've owned 4 Teslas so far, and I would say like range is probably not my number one thing. As long as it has close to 300 or even 280 or 290, I would say it's pretty much not a non-issue at this point, because once you figure out and understand charging and you have a home charging setup, or you have you use the supercharger, the Tesla supercharger network a handful of times, you understand that Tesla superchargers are very reliable, and it's not that hard to stop by one of them to plug in and charge up in like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and then be on your way, especially if you're just topping up or just charging a little bit just so you can get to your destination, as in like your home or your next stop at the next supercharger. So there's definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Technology, I would say, is probably on my high bucket list or priority list when buying an electric vehicle, or really any vehicle, because of how intuitiveness some of these electric vehicle Teslas are, notably Teslas are. I don't know if you saw my latest video update with how the newest technology, newest update with the Tesla software is very intuitive with a lot of different enhancements to the user experience. So it's definitely some pretty notable stuff at the end of the day. But I wouldn't say range is my number one. And there's actually a study out there where it said that when people buy a second EV, range is also not their number one priority, because once you buy an electric vehicle, you start to understand all the different quirks and features of it, and you understand that range is not that big of an issue at the end of the day. But I can certainly agree with most that probably it is in the beginning, because it's a little bit worrisome with buying an electric vehicle in the beginning. So I definitely understand it. But if you're just we're gonna jump into, but let me know your thoughts on it. So we're gonna jump into the live stream comments. But before we do that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description is the Patreon link where you can support the channel. So definitely check it out if you're interested. If you're just joining in, welcome. Let's go through some of the live stream comments. Rent, welcome. Should I buy a Model 3 Pro Performance tomorrow? I'm in the Central CA. I've had one before and sitting waiting. If you've had one before, I don't think you should get another one. Actually, stopping by to say hi. Thank you for great information all the time. Thank you, Mr. Willie. Good luck to you. Hopefully you're buying a Tesla, and hopefully you got your financing all squared away and everything. And actually, before I sign off today, if anybody is buying a Tesla or about to buy one, check out our Tesla part accessory partners down below in the description. We've got Tamai, Jawa, Tesla, MAGBAK, and 3D USA, all really good products, so definitely check it out. Link down below in the description. Did your Cybertruck reservation account get you banned? If not, what place do you think you are? I'm actually in a number where, fingers crossed, we might be able to take delivery this year, but who knows? Is it worth it to tint the front windshield? Depends on where you're at. If you're in a place with a lot of sun, then I would say yes. Advice is the CA incentive actually comes through. Anyone have charger credits? I've got supercharger credits, if that's what you mean. CA incentive, the CVRP, yeah, it's $2,000 right now. Eric Chan, yeah, very late stream, so thank thank you for coming in. My friend applies for the incentives in California, and it's been 6 weeks and nothing yet. Unbeatable Jonah, yeah, it takes longer than 6 weeks. It takes like 90 to 120 days to get that check from the CVRP program. Actually, I'm in the process of getting a Tesla Model 3 by trade-in by Camry, but they want me to pay $8,000. I've asked if I could roll into the loan, and they said no. So unfortunately, it's not Tesla saying no. It's the banks, like of course Wells Fargo, Bank of America, or even Chase. So definitely check out some of the credit unions that they might be able to do a better deal for you. Do you think that the price of the Tesla Model 3 Performance Highline is going to be cheaper than the current price right now? I would say it's going to be either the same price, maybe a little bit more, like 10% more, or even maybe 10% less. Really don't know at this point. But if we believe what this article says about the cost cutting and how it's really just more manufacturing improvements, then maybe the Tesla Model 3 performance will be a $45,000 car. We have no idea really. But thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for hitting the like button. Thanks for joining on this late night stream. This week, or actually the next 2 weeks, is probably going to be very scattered in terms of going on live. So definitely thank you for supporting. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Lil Cray, check out our Patreon link down below in the description, where you can get access to the best list of all the banks and credit unions and banks that all have that I have on my list, that all have interest rates better than Tesla financing. Some of them as low as 2.9, but really most of them are 3.7, which is still better than Tesla financing. So definitely check it out. Link down below in the description. All right, guys. See ya.